what's up, guys? It's your favorite entrepreneur here, Sierra Nicole, and we are back with another episode of The Boss Seat. The Boss Seat is a show where we interview different individuals who are absolutely killing it in their respective fields, and you will get the opportunity to see what it costs to really be a boss. And today we have a super special guest, the real estate mogul, Austinrutherford. Austin, how are you? Thank you so much for joining us.
I'm fantastic. I'm really looking forward to this today.
Oh, awesome. I actually had the Boss Seat going for the last 2 years or so, but we are doing a complete relaunch and a revamp. And Austin, you're actually one of the OG guests, and so I had to bring you back. But Austin, can you tell us a little bit? So I know, you have a huge social media following. You inspire, you motivate, and you educate others in the field of real estate. Can you tell us a little bit about what exactly it is that you do?
Yeah, absolutely. The thing that kind of got me started, first off, in entrepreneurship, I bought my first house when I was 20 years old. So it was a duplex. It was a rental property I still own today. I just fell in love with real estate, passive residual income. And I figured that's how I was going to get rich. So bought that house when I was 20 and, just wanted to make more money. So then I got my real estate license. And then I met my mentor that taught me to flip houses, flip my second house when I was 22. And made $103,000 net profit on that deal. And I'm 27 now. So over the last, 5.5, 6 years, we flipped hundreds and probably upwards of 300 houses, anything from new construction to condo conversions, flips, apartment buildings, commercial buildings, on a real estate portfolio. So that business is still cranking. Then, like you said, I'm focused kind of on building the brand on social media. I'm just trying to get back and help and inspire other people at this point.
Wow, that is amazing. Most people at 22 years old, they're out having the time of their lives, partying. What was that like being 22 and now you're, making over 6 figures in real estate? What was that like compared to maybe some of your other peers at that age who were not worried about, making money or starting a business?
No, absolutely. It was I guess it was like the word's weird time because like all my friends were in college and, they would come and talk to me about like business school and entrepreneurship school that they were learning about in college. And it was nothing like the real life because I was doing it every single day. And that part was weird because like I did feel like at the time, I was missing out on the fun times. I was missing out on that college experience that everybody talks about. But for me, like I always had the long-term focus and vision in mind. Now looking back, I'm extremely grateful I did it because like at the end of the day, that small little time in your life when you're, the college fun days really isn't that much time and it's really not that fun. I'd rather be the one traveling the world, jumping on jets and yachts versus having that fun time in college. But it was weird because all my friends, were in college and I was just sitting at home writing letters in my parents' basement.
Right, absolutely. And I can definitely relate because I'm pretty young and people usually tell me, what are you doing? Like, you should be out living life. Like, well, to me, I'd rather grind now to live life, later. So that is amazing that you were able to accomplish so much so young. What's maybe some advice you would have for maybe an 18, 19-year-old who wants to focus on being an entrepreneur?
No, absolutely. Unfortunately, this generation, we grow up like, hey, go to high school, graduate, go to college, get a degree, go get a job, work your way up through the corporate ladder, 30, 40 years later, trying to retire. The problem is when you look around, if you go to the Walmarts and the McDonald's and the Wendy's and you look and see if there's anybody working 65 years or older, there are. There's a lot of people working that are of retirement age because the normal way that people live doesn't work anymore. You can't work your way and save your way to retirement. It's not possible. So, first thing I would say to the younger generation, like it's okay to go, against the grain or travel the road less traveled because like it doesn't work. So why would you follow the path that doesn't work? Being okay with that, I grew up the same way. I told my mother I'd graduate, I'd get my degree, and I was in college, making 6 figures flipping real estate, and I was still going to college because I promised my mother I'd do that. And finally, I was just like, Ma, this ain't going to work, and dropped out of school. So it was a tough decision because like you don't want to disappoint the people that are around you. But coming from somebody that's a dropout, never graduated college. It works. It's possible. So, believe in yourself enough and don't just follow, the path because it looks like it's what everybody else is doing. Because at the end of the day, the path doesn't work. So, believe in yourself and be confident to go out there and do something on your own.
Absolutely. Believing yourself is huge. That is definitely huge. What are some things that have helped you along the journey? Like, is it, you are still pretty young, and you've accomplished so much. What are some aspects that have helped you, whether it's, people within your circle or, are there books that you read? What are some things that have helped you along this journey?
No, absolutely. The first thing, I'm a big believer in mentorship. There's two ways you can get somewhere into a goal that you want to go to. You can get there yourself, learn, take a long time, and fail miserably along the way, but eventually you'll get there. Or you can find somebody that's already doing what you want to do and learn from them. So I've been a big believer all my life in mentorships. I probably spent over $500,000 for different mentorships and masterminds in my career. Because I believe in that. So I highly, highly recommend. And you don't even necessarily have to pay for mentors. I do because I just think it's better that way. But, you can pull motivation from people from social media or YouTube, which is 100% free. So definitely find a mentor. That's huge. And then, like you said, kind of books and stuff. I think like the morning routine, the reading, the journaling, the manifestations, the daily affirmations, all those things to build this. Single-handedly, no questions asked, the biggest thing that's helped my business is confidence within myself. And the way that you build confidence within yourself is by believing in yourself, saying those daily affirmations, thinking about your manifestations and the things you want to achieve in life. Hands down, no questions asked. That's been the biggest change in my life, is just finally believing in myself. So, those are two things I definitely recommend anybody of any age, young or old, to do. Because I don't know about you, but you find out nowadays, like very, very few people actually believe in themselves. Everybody doubts themselves and thinks that they're a failure. Like, you can't have success thinking that way.
Absolutely. That confidence is key, and mindset is really everything. So if you guys are watching this live right now, go ahead and throw that down in the comments. Mindset is everything, because it truly, truly is. And I know you just mentioned about your morning routine. What does your morning routine look like?
For sure. So I get up, I go to the gym, usually between about like 6 to 5:30 on a good day, but hit the gym, eat breakfast, shower, and then I do my manifestations. So it's not like the hum position, but like I just sit there in silence, and just think about my life, think about the goals that I want, think about, new ideas on how to get to those goals. So just spend time on me. And then like my affirmations are posted on my mirror in my bathroom. So I have those every time I brush my teeth, I see them, I read them. So I'm building that, ingraining it into my mind subconsciously every single day. And then I'll, read a book, whatever book it is. Some books are easy to read. Some books are hard to read. But then, after that, after I've spent my morning working on me and growing myself, then whatever it is for the day, if I gotta jump on a Zoom call or jump on emails or whatever it is. But the first part of the day is 100% working on myself.
That is awesome. Awesome. I definitely want to join that 5 a.m. club that you're in. But I'm working on it. I'm definitely working on it.
It's a daily fight just to get out of bed.
Absolutely. I definitely agree. But you mentioned reading. So what's maybe like the number one or maybe like the top two books that you would recommend to an aspiring entrepreneur or, real estate entrepreneur?
For sure. So the first book that changed my life when I was 19 years old was called Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill. I read that as soon as I fell out of love with the game of basketball. I didn't know what to do with my life. Read that book, and the opportunities opened up. I felt like alive again. So I highly, highly recommend that. I read it every year or two because it had that much impact on my life. And then like real estate specific books, there's not that many of them out there. One book is that's called Flip by Nick Ruiz. That was a pretty good book in real estate to get somebody started as well. So yeah, those are two recommendations.
Awesome. And I know anything by Napoleon Hill is always a game changer. That's like usually my first go-to when anyone asks me, what books can I use to help change my mindset or, get me out of that old way of thinking is definitely Napoleon Hill for sure.
Absolutely.
Yes. Awesome. And just a quick another question about your actual business model. So I know that you do flips, but what exactly does your business model look like in real estate?
Yeah, so the real estate company, we buy rental properties, we flip houses, and we wholesale houses. Right now, we've done a little bit of everything. But for me, again, I've been in this game for 5 or 6 years now, and I was wholesaling and flipping houses. That's all we was doing. We was making a lot of money doing it. 6, 8, 7 figures a year. And but you're always chasing that next deal. So as you flip a house, you make 50, 100 grand, whatever it is, and then you got to go find the next deal. And that was cool. Again, we made a lot of money doing it, but I kind of lost sight of the long-term vision. Long-term generational wealth, you can't get that flipping houses. So now in our business model, the first option is to keep it as a rental property. So we have numbers that we want to hit to make sure it makes sense as a rental property. But option number one is we're keeping it as a rental. And then if it doesn't fit that criteria, then we'll flip it or then we'll wholesale it. So, I've kind of changed, the direction to think more long-term now. But the thing with rental properties, you don't make money like today, you make money over time.
Right.
So it's just kind of a mental barrier that you have to get by to do that. So now we own rentals, apartment buildings, commercial buildings, flip, wholesale, and that's real estate.
Awesome. With everything, because there's been a lot of changes this year, has there been a shift in the real estate market or your business with everything going on?
Yeah. So like when it first hit, it was everybody kind of like froze for, 20, 30 days and nobody really knew what was going to happen, where things were going to go. But like as soon as that time passed, like the market took off.
Wow.
So it's been one of the best markets that I've seen. And, 4 or 5 years ago when things were booming, you list a house, it sells in 7 days or 14 or 1 day. And that's kind of back to where it is today. Things selling over asking. So the retail market is great because houses are flying off the shelves. I think inevitably this is going to catch up with itself. In 2021, I think, we'll have a little dip in the market to correct it. But right now, over the last 9 months, it's been booming.
That's awesome. Is your business, are you preparing your business for a dip to happen?
Yeah, so that's what people ask me all the time in real estate. Like, are you buying now? Are you going to buy when the market crashes? Like, what's your game plan? And I say buy all the time. There's always time. There's always deals to make money in real estate because you try and time the dip. And like, what's the chances of you timing the dip? It's easy to look back 10 years and see the dip and like where rock bottom was.
Right.
But when you're in the middle of it, like you have no idea where rock bottom's already going to be. So what if we're in the dip right now? Like, what if we're already in a recession and like this is the bottom? Like, why are you waiting to buy if this could be the bottom? So I'm a big believer, you buy all the time as long as the deals are good. So we're still buying, that's our strategy. We have gotten, a little bit more conservative with numbers to make sure, if something does happen, we don't screw ourselves. But going into what potentially could be a dip, if it does happen, I think higher end price points is going to be kind of what gets hit first, in my opinion. And then, things like lease options, subject tos, owner financing, as, people can't afford to make payments. I think those would be great opportunities as well in the future.
Absolutely. So I know that, we have YouTube University out now. We have, social media, people sharing a lot of education and game in the real estate industry. For someone who's maybe just now getting started, they want to build wealth, they want to build, a portfolio of real estate. Do you maybe have a couple of tips for someone who's just starting out?
Yeah, so 2 ways to get into the real estate business. The easiest is something called wholesaling. So wholesaling real estate is basically when you go out and you get a seller to agree to sell you the property for, let's say, $100,000, and then you get a buyer to agree to buy the property for $110,000. You connect the parties, and then you make a $10,000 fee on it. So you never have to buy the deal. You never have to have the money. You just connect parties and make money. There's obviously a lot of variables of how that goes down, but in essence, it's just connecting 2 parties and making a fee. So you can do that dead broke, no credit, 18 years old, whatever it is. Like you can make money that way. I got somebody in my office that just stopped in. He just assigned us his first deal for $8,000. He's 18 years old.
Wow.
Like talk about life changing. So you can do that very, very young. The other thing that a lot of people don't know about how to get into the game is buying houses with other people's money. So that's how I got into the game. My first flip, it was a $74,000 purchase and $170,000 rehab. I didn't have that money. I definitely didn't have that money. So what I did is I ended up raising the money from somebody who's called a private money lender. You can't Google like private money lenders because they're private, obviously.
Right.
But it's just people that you build relationships with, and then they believe in you and lend you money. And that's how I've done my entire career. I raised over $20 million to fund all my deals, build a 60-unit rental portfolio, flip, new build, construction house. Everything has been 100% funded by private money lenders. And again, you can do that at a very young age or any age. There's no credit check, background check. There's no income verification check. There's nothing. It's just somebody believing in you to go out there and do a deal. So 2 ways very easily to get into the game is wholesaling and buying houses with other people's money.
That's awesome. And if any of you guys are familiar with my page and my content, you know that I love talking about OPM, other people's money, using other people's money in order to leverage that to put us ahead. So that is awesome. What are maybe some struggles or some obstacles you've had to face, through building up this real estate business?
Sure. I mean, failure is part of it. I get a lot of questions that people are like, well, what if it doesn't work? What if it
Right.
fails? What if this? What if that? First thing is first, you got to understand you will fail. It's 100% guaranteed. I fail every single day, thousands of times a year. The only difference is I understand that that's a learning lesson and not a point of failure. I'm like, all right, bet. I'm not going to do it that way next time.
Right.
So you got to understand that failure is just a learning process to get up and continue going. And you got to be okay with that. Something I started asking myself every time somebody gets into something new, people always talk to them like, what if you go broke? What if you lose it all? What if this? What if that? So I just kind of flipped it around in my mind and I asked myself a different question now. I said, what if this was the best opportunity, best decision I've ever made in my entire life? I'm like, all right, I'm gonna do this now. It's just changing the mindset behind it. So one thing would be understanding failure is part of it. Another thing is, you're going to lose some people in your life. Everybody's not built for the same dream that you have. It's your dream at the end of the day. It's not everybody else's dream. So whatever you believe in, you need to believe in it, because there's going to be people that come by and say like, you can't do that. You're too young. You don't have the money. It's not possible. My friend Joey went bankrupt because of trying to get in real estate or whatever it is. So there's going to be a lot of people that don't, see the vision that you see, and you're going to have to outgrow those people. Some of them might be your best friends, and some of them may end up being some of your family members. And there's nothing wrong with that. You don't have to like give them the middle finger or anything like
Right.
that. You don't have to take it that, but you just have to separate yourself. So instead of going out to dinner at nighttime and calling your best friend Joey that's not doing anything with his life, go out to dinner and call somebody that's actually trying to grow like you are. Because the people you put yourself around, actually matter. So understanding that you're going to lose people. And then, third is putting yourself around the right type of people. I kind of hinted to that. But, that's why I believe so strongly in mastermind groups, because everybody in the group wants to win. And everybody in the group wants to see everybody in the group win. So when you're surrounding yourself with 6-figure players, 7-figure players, 8-figure, 9-figure players, you got to step your game up or you're going to get kicked out the room. And,
Right.
I like to win. I like to hustle. So I don't want to get kicked out the room. So it forces everybody in the room to level themselves up. So make sure you put yourself around the right type of people as well.
That's major. Who you surround yourself with is huge, a huge role in really anyone's success. And I love how you mentioned mastermind groups. And I believe I've seen it before on one of your social media pages. You now have your own mastermind group. Is that correct?
Yeah, so we do vacation masterminds. So the next one's in the DR, people flying from all over the country, and we just have a mastermind group.
That's awesome. That really is awesome. What is it like to be surrounded by people? Because like I said, you've achieved a lot of success at a very young age, but obviously you're surrounding yourself with people who are more maybe at more of a net worth, or have maybe achieved a little bit more that you want to strive to. What is that like? Because I know for some people it can be intimidating to be around people who may have done more. But what is that like, and how can you adjust or maybe be of value to someone in that type of setting?
Absolutely. So being around people of high net worth, is a very scary thing at the beginning, but you got to understand most people that are wildly successful want to see other people win. They're not like those greedy people that just hold everything tight. And there's some of those people out there, don't get me wrong, but most successful people want to see other people win. So when you're going into a room where maybe you're the smallest fish there, don't think like, oh, why am I supposed to be here? Think like everybody here wants to see me succeed. And that's a very real thing. So being comfortable walking into the rooms, knowing that, people want to see you win. And then another thing where I see a lot of people struggle is that they people that think they know it all. So they go in and just talk. So, early on when I met my girlfriend, I love like, I'm energetic. I love talking to people, blah, blah. And then the first mastermind that she came with me to, where I was going to purposely put myself around people who had a lot more money than I did. We ended up leaving the mastermind 2 days later. And she was like, babe, why didn't you like talk much? So it was very different to her, but it's because I was trying to take in everything around me. I want to see how these people think. I want to see how they talk. I want to see how they move. I want to see when they wake up in the morning. I want to see what they eat for lunch. I want to see when they go to bed at night. Like I want to learn what they do so I could be in that position.
Right.
So don't over talk yourself or talk yourself out of a deal. because a lot of people don't like it. I think you're a know-it-all, and then people tend to not want to help you. But yeah, like I said, you got to be comfortable going in, just knowing that people want to see you win, and going back to believing in yourself. Going into rooms where you're a small fish, but you believe in you, like that helps a lot. One of my daily affirmations is I walk into every room, I carry my shoulders high, and I know I bring value in any room. So every day I'm telling myself, I bring value, I bring value, I bring value. So when I walk into those types of rooms, I don't go in there sweating with the red face with my face down. Right. So all these things we're talking about today kind of go all in one together to build, a full, full circle of wealth and growth and everything in between.
Right, absolutely. And like we had said before, that confidence is key. If you guys are watching this right now, whether you're catching a replay or you're watching it live, go ahead and throw that down in the comment section. Confidence is key. Confidence is key. You need confidence in anything that you do. So I love that has played such a big role in you building these relationships. I don't want to hold you too long, but Austin, I'm curious, what do you have going on right now? I know that you're building a brand, you have your real estate business, but what does your life look like right now?
Yeah, so I'm still full go. I'm young. I'm 27. I'm hungry. I'm trying to build something. So I got the real estate company that's cranking. We got 5 people in that company working every day.
Wow.
And then I got the brand business, which is coaching and education and social media. I'm just trying to give out and put as much value into the world as possible. So I got 2 people full time on that business. Right now, for me, that's what takes up a lot of my time. I'm just putting out content. I'm sitting in front of a camera. We're about to record some YouTube videos right after this. And then I started a data company about 6 months ago. So that's something that's like completely foreign to me, which has been cool to get into. Learning something from scratch all over again. Right. So growing that business and then, trying to keep other streams of income going. So I've been putting my money into, other investments, Forex, crypto, stocks, all those other things to try to make my money continue to work for me. So that's kind of what that is.
Awesome. It sounds busy. So I definitely appreciate that you even took the time to, come and bring value to us and to my audience. And I'm sure, anyone watching can take something from this interview and really use that to better, whether it's their business or their entrepreneurial journey. But I do have one last question for you, Austin, before we let you go. This is a question that I ask everyone who comes on the boss seat. So Austin, to you, when you hear, someone says, "Oh, I'm a boss," or you see that a lot on social media, being a boss or boss babe, or what does being a boss mean to you?
I wonder what I said. I wonder if this question you asked me last time. I wonder what my answer was. But as far as like being a boss, people like, "Oh, I'm a king, I'm a boss," like all those things. And there's 2 ways you can take it. One can be extremely arrogant and self-giving, which I don't think is a good way to go about it doing it. Another way, saying like you're a boss because you handle your business and people respect you because you do what you're going to say. I think that way of doing things is completely fine. So when people like claim, they're a boss and everything, usually you can tell from the jump if they're real or not. But if they are real, like to me, they handle their business. They do what they say they're going to do. When people talk about them, they don't speak lowly about them. And humble is a big thing as well. You can't, if all the success in the world, if you're an arrogant, person, it's going to show. I say money brings out the real you. People say money changes people. I think money brings out the real you. So if you're an a-hole, you're going to be a bigger one. If you're a very kind, generous, caring person, you're going to be even more kind, caring, and generous. So boss to me is somebody who like is doing the right thing with the world and with, how they move.
Absolutely. I love it. I love it. Austin, for people who are watching who may be new to you and your content, where can we find you?
Yeah, so I'm on Instagram all the time. It's Austinrutherfordofficial. YouTube is Austin Rutherford, and TikTok is Austin Rutherford.
Awesome. Awesome. You guys, make sure you guys are going to go check him out on all the social media platforms. He brings, inspiration, motivation, and education in the real estate or entrepreneurial fields. So you guys can definitely gain some value from that. And Austin, again, thank you so much for taking the time out of your super busy schedule to come on here, bring some value, and to really chop it up with us this morning.
Absolutely. I appreciate you having me on here. Hopefully we added value, but this was awesome. Thank you.
Hey guys. guys, thanks so much for tuning into this week's episode of The Boss Seat. Make sure you are heading over to the Live Waves app to catch me live. Okay, we are doing some bonus content after this episode, so make sure you go and download the app, create you a free account, and follow me, Sierra Nicole, so that you can catch this free content, and I'm going to catch you guys there in a minute. People who are watching who may be new to you and your content, where can we find you?
Yeah, so I'm on Instagram all the time. It's Austinrutherfordofficial. YouTube is Austin Rutherford, and TikTok is Austin Rutherford.
Awesome. You guys, make sure you guys are going to go check him out on all the social media platforms. He brings, inspiration, motivation, and education in the real estate or entrepreneurial fields. So you guys can definitely gain some value from that. And Austin, again, thank you so much for taking the time out of your super busy schedule to come on here, bring some value, and to really chop it up with us this morning.
Absolutely. I appreciate you having me on here. Hopefully we added value, but this was awesome. Thank you.
Hey guys, thanks so much for tuning into this week's episode of The Boss Seat. Make sure you are heading over to the Live Waves app to catch me live. Okay, we are doing some bonus content after this episode, so make sure you go and download the app, create you a free account, and follow me, Sierra Nicole, so that you can catch this free content, and I'm going to catch you guys there in a minute.